As we all know, Disney Pixar is a company that have made many great movies. Now, they have an upcoming release this year, Toy Story 3. Now, this review is meant to be a review of the first two films. As people will know, they've been re-released in 3D format. Now, I saw the first one back in October, and it made me fall in love with Toy Story again. I really thought that the first one was incredibly funny. It was really smart, witty, it was caring for the characters, and I think you could really connect with them and make them likeable as they entered these dangerous, well, not so dangerous situations. And overall, when you leave the movie, you don't feel cheated in any way possible. You feel that you've just watched a hell of a ride, and for me, one of the best animated movies of the decade, or even in my lifetime. So now I've just got back from seeing the second film, Toy Story 2 in 3D. Now, and this has again made me fall in love with Toy Story 2. And I like this one slightly better than the original. But anyway, let's get into the plots of both of these movies and let's get into it. Now, the first one centers around the introduction of the toys. You have Woody, Buzz, Slinky, Rex, it was Pig with the coins, so funny, and Mr. Potato Head, and all the various toy gangs. Now the first one, Woody is pretty much like Andy's life, or vice versa. They both love each other. Woody is arguably Andy's favourite toy, loves playing with them, and you figure life's going really well for Woody, until Buzz comes along and then budges him to the side. Sorry Woody, I'm now Andy's new favourite. And Woody of course gets jealous about this and decides to set up a trap, and it ends up becoming a rescue mission for Buzz. Sorry, for Woody to save Buzz. Pretty basic plot, but now, plot of the second one. The second one, now, of course, after the events that end up happening in the first movie, they become friends at the end of the first film. And this time, Woody gets kidnapped by this this obsessive toy collector who wants to get together a roundup gang, and Woody's that little piece that he needs in order to fulfill that achievement. And what happens is that he ends up trying to send them all to Japan. What happens is that Buzz and all the rest of the gang, they have to try and save Woody and stop them at the Al, I think his name is, from basically getting Woody to never see them again. Plots of Toy Story 1 and 2. Now, before I get into my review, I'm going to say that I think that they're not the both are easily two of Pixar's best. They're 2 out of 3. The other one's Finding Nemo, because that's my particular favourite, but only just ahead of these two. Toy Story 1 and 2 for me are 2 of the best animated films ever made. They're in my top list of all time. I really cannot get sick of these. I haven't got them on DVD, sadly, but once I do see them in a bargain, I am going for them. And I really think that the first two they just make you feel so happy inside, You don't feel like you just want to escape realism for a couple of hours. You do that, you connect with these toys, you have fun with them, and you enter a world that is just imaginative and creatively funny. Now, let's get into the voice acting. Now you have, first of all, John Lasseter directed both of these films, and he's going to be the executive producer on the third one. Lee Urich is going to direct the third one. Hopefully it won't suck. Another video. So John Lasseter directed these phenomenal voice cast. You have Tom Hanks as Woody the cowboy. Really connect with his character easily, And even though he's not my favourite character, I still feel that, when he went into these situations, I wanted him to survive. I wanted him to be back with Andy's room and all of Andy's toys. What else can I say? Buzz, I thought, is my particular favourite character. He brings, especially in the first one, the most comedic moments I've ever laughed at. I was really laughing my ass off when I saw this. When I saw it, I rewatched the first one, and literally this one line where he goes, "You are a sad, strange little man, and you have my pity." Or the bit where he goes, "We're not on my planet, are we?" And ends up being a fight. Sorry for a bad Buzz impression, but I wanted to do it so bad. So the rest of the cast are pretty good as well, really brilliant side characters and assistants to Woody and Buzz, particularly over the course of the two films, and I'm just going to admit that, what else can I say about the acting? It's just phenomenal. I'm breathless for it. Now let's get into what I loved, not what I liked, what I loved about these films. Now, particularly both of these movies have a certain energetic feel to them, as many other reviewers will have said. They make you feel like you're a kid again. They make you feel you can do anything, and you can push any boundaries and succeed. You can exceed any levels that you want without any trouble. And it just makes you feel so satisfied as a viewer to watch these two phenomenally near perfection movies to just unfold on screen, and particularly in 3D recently. You know, I really do feel that they are two of Pixar's best films, two best animated movies, and they're two of the funniest movies I've ever watched, because let's get into another thing I loved about it. The comedy in this movie is hilarious. It has the perfect timing for what you want it to do. It has all the elements of it that can make it extra funny. It has all the creative elements that make the humour work for both kids and adults alike. You know, and another thing I love about the comedy is that the adult humour and the child humour are balanced so perfectly in these films. You cannot help but fall in love with what these films do just right. Another thing I liked about the films was that the plots were pretty well thought out. Yeah, the second one was plots were a bit more cliche than the first one, but I actually like the second one better than the first, but only just. Anyway, another thing I loved about the films was that like I say, the characters are extremely likeable. You really do feel for them, and you know, without any one of them, you take any one of these toys away, I can guarantee you that Toy Story 3, for example, will not be the same without these toys. There has been a cast change for Toy Story 3, but look, IMDb that or Wikipedia that, I don't know. Anyway, so now let's have to unfortunately get into the things I wasn't as keen on about it. But really, there wasn't that much about it. The first one, if I'm going to be honest, it was a little bit slow-paced at the beginning. But again, first of all, nitpicking. Can't really think of much else for the first one. The second one, it wasn't as funny as the first one. It was definitely more inventive, and it still had me laughing my ass off a lot, but the first one's funnier. And that's why I think, even though I do like the second one more because it's a quicker paced film, but, you know, nitpicking. And the one final thing I really didn't like about the second, well, it didn't bother me too much, but the thing I wasn't as keen on in the second one is that there's a Star Wars reference in the second one, and I found it to be a little bit cheesy, but all the same, I can see what they were intending to do, and they pulled it off. Not the best they could have done, but pulled it off. So to wrap this up for YouTube, now, Toy Story 1 and 2, you know, like I say, I think that they're two of Pixar's, easily two of Pixar's best films behind Finding Nemo. I think that they're two of the best animated movies, and two of the best movies themselves I've ever seen in a long time. And they're easily in my top 10 favourite movies ever made. So to wrap this up, easily I'm going to give them both 5 stars out of 5. Forget the nitpicks. They're perfect animated movies. I love them to bits, and you know, let's just hope that the threequel, while I have a suspicion it won't be as good as 1 and 2, will at least do it justice. But that's a review for another video. So, obviously by the time this video gets on YouTube, they'll have both been shown in 3D. If you have it on DVD, watch it again. If you don't have it on DVD like myself, my goal is to get it. You should too if you love both of these movies. How could you not love them? And two of Pixar's and animation's easily best films. So, until next time YouTube, the movie buff, Michael Bowers, signing out. Go and get Toy Story 1 and 2. Amazing movies. I mean it.